my heart down low. Let me not grow weary.
Hebrews chapter 12 verse 16 to 17 in the Message translation. It says, watch out for the Esau syndrome, trading away God's lifelong gift in order to satisfy a short-term appetite. And you well know how Esau later regretted that impulsive act and wanted God's blessing. But then it was too late. Tears or no tears. One of the most tragic stories in scriptures is not about a man who lost his inheritance by force. It was about a man who actually traded it away. And Esau did not lose his birthright in battle. He did not lose it through theft. He despised it. And the Bible tells us this story as a warning to every generation, because the danger that destroyed Esau still exists today in our world, and it's facing us. And it is what we can call the Esau syndrome, and the disease of trading lifelong covenant value for short-term emotional appetite. And we've got to understand the nature of Esau syndrome, that the birthright in ancient Israel was not a small thing. Actually, it represented your inheritance, your authority, your covenant privilege. And yet Esau looked at it and said something very shocking. In Genesis chapter 25 verse 32, Esau said, look, I'm about to die. So what is this birthright to me? In that moment, his hunger, his appetite was speaking louder than the covenant that God had for him. The immediate became more real than the eternal. And Esau traded something sacred for something temporary. And this is the essence of Esau's syndrome. When the soul becomes intoxicated by immediacy, your appetite becomes dangerous when it begins to speak louder than your destiny. Friends, that attitude and tendency to despise what God gives, what God has given you, is a dangerous thing. To despise something doesn't mean you hate it. It means to treat something valuable as if it were ordinary. And this is one of the quiet dangers that we face as believers, that you can slowly begin to undervalue what God has placed in your hands, your calling, your convictions, your spiritual inheritance. And not because they are small in themselves, but because something else appears more immediately satisfying. And what the soul despises, eventually it trades away. And this is how we know that the Esau syndrome is at work in a person. It shows also in the loss of spiritual intelligence, that not being able to recognize the long-term weight of what you carry, that your appetite has the tendency to blind discernment, and then eventually you negotiate your destiny. Friends, you know what profane means? It means to treat sacred things casually. And the Bible in Hebrews calls Esau a profane person. That when sacred things become casual, dangerous trades begin to happen. And so the loss of spiritual intelligence always leads to costly exchanges. So friends, this is a lesson for us. Your relationship with God, your conviction, your calling, your identity in Christ. This is spiritual inheritance for you. And the world is constantly offering temporal substitutes for these things, whether it's pleasure for purity and approval for obedience and comfort for calling. And the test of maturity is learning to recognize the difference between what is urgent and what is eternal, because not everything that demands your attention actually deserves your destiny. So friends, Esau walked away with a bowl of stew, but he lost what he could never recover. And that story still stands in scriptures today as a warning to us. Don't allow your appetite outrank eternal things, and don't allow immediacy blind you to inheritance, because what God has given you is far more valuable than what the moment is offering you. So friends, Esau traded a birthright for a meal, and there are many people today who are still trading their destiny for what satisfies them today. I hope that if you're one of them, you can listen and then turn back and place high value on what God is offering you. Have a blessed day, friends.
So make me pour